I'm Julia.
And I'm Denise.
And today we're going to be talking about Skye at Holland. But before we move forward, please help us to click on the like and subscribe button so that the YouTube algorithm can push it out to like-minded individuals such as yourself.
Thank you. So in our agenda today, we'll be talking about the fact sheet as well as the unit mix. Next, we're going to address the elephant in the room. There are no schools within 1 kilometre. Is that going to be an issue? Next, is there also any exit strategy for this project? And lastly, we're going to do a price mapping matrix as well as a buying strategy for the different unit types.
So a little bit about Skye at Holland. It has a total of 666 units. And one thing to note is that the views of this development is going to be pretty spectacular. You're either going to have a pool view or you're going to have an unblocked landed view of the GCB area in Holland Village.
Wow.
Next thing to note is the car park lots. There will be a total of 666 residential car park lots and 5 for visitors. So a total of 671 car park lots shared among 666 units. This is something which is really very rare and something that we haven't seen in quite a while. If you've watched our previous videos and seen our analysis of the upcoming launches in Singapore, you realize that quite a number of these new developments that are situated close to the MRT station do not come with almost 1:1 ratio of car park lots to residential units. But for Skye at Holland, the developer has given almost 1:1 for this development.
In fact, most of them these days give only 80%. Like even ECs these days, they don't give a full 100%, they only give 80%.
Why do you think so, Denise?
So it shows that they want you to be car light, but they also want to provide for those that maybe have not just one car, but maybe 2 cars in this development. But it's also next to MRT, so it's the best of everything basically. You get car park lots, you get to park your car at home, and then you get to cycle around on the weekends and, live an active lifestyle basically.
Yes. So this is located in District 10. It will be walking distance to Holland Village MRT station.
Super close.
Super near. And there will be 2 towers in this development.
So in the unit mix itself, as you can see, there are no 1-bedrooms and the developer is starting from a 2-bed, 1-bath, which typically, appeals more to investors. You can see more than half of the projects are actually 2 bedrooms. And the rest will be all 3 to 5 bedrooms. And the 4 and 5 bedrooms actually come with a private lift.
In terms of location, let's see what is Skye at Holland surrounded by.
So if we zoom in, it's actually next to One Holland Village. So this is an integrated mall as well as residences itself. And what I really like about OHV is that there are so many new restaurants, fitness studios that have actually opened up. So it's really that new kind of Holland Village enclave that I actually go pretty often these days.
Skye at Holland is located very, very strategically. And we know people that usually live in the Holland Village area, they typically drive. So let's see how near Skye at Holland is to everywhere. In terms of schools, Henry Park Primary School and ACS International is about a 5-minute drive away. Then you have Hwa Chong Institution, UWC SEA, they are about 8 minutes drive. And then you have NUS, which is a 10 minutes drive away. Over on to the other side, you have One North Business Hub for those who are working nearby, 5 minutes drive. Star Vista, 7 minutes drive. Star Vista is also pet friendly. You have Dempsey, 8-minute drive, and then you have your Orchard Road shopping belt, 10 minutes drive away. Science Park, 10 minutes drive, and your CBD is about 12 minutes drive away. So you can see that you are very centrally located at Skye at Holland, and everything is about a 5 to 12 minutes drive away.
Not only that, you're next to the MRT and you're also next to a huge mall, which is also pet friendly. So as you can see, a lot of the places in this, like Dempsey, Star Vista, they are coming up with more pet friendly activities that most people can actually bring their fur pets and all that over the weekend. And in terms of walking, if you want to just walk to the MRT station, we have Holland Village MRT. If you want to go to the mall, basically get brunch and all that, there's One Holland Village. Or you can head to Chickbee Gardens, which is a 7 minutes walk. Or you can go to the Rail Corridor, which is along Buona Vista, and it's just a 10 minutes walk. So I think Skye at Holland is really perfect for young families, young couples who really love that balanced lifestyle. It's not just about work, but you get to enjoy life on the weekends, catch up with friends, go work out at the Rail Corridor, or even at all the fitness studios in One Holland Village. And here we actually have the site plan of the project. So the views are actually pretty amazing for both blocks. For this first block, which actually faces the Good Class Bungalow, you actually look at the Holland Rise area. For the other side, you're actually looking at also bungalows as well as low-rise developments. This faces towards Holland Village side. Basically, you'll look at the One Holland V and also the bungalows above and beyond.
So you don't have to worry about your view being potentially obstructed in the future. So in deciding whether or not this development is something that many young families with school-going children will go, we checked and see whether Skye at Holland is within the 1 km range to any school. Unfortunately for Skye at Holland, it is not within the 1 km range to any good school, neither is it in the 1 km range of any school. However, there are some schools which are within the 1 to 2 km range. Denise, you actually work with a lot of families who purchase properties within the 1 km range to good schools, right?
Yes. So actually, I work with a lot of parents who like that distance. What we notice is that for One Holland V, as well as for Skye, they do not have any schools in 1 km. But in 1 to 2, they actually have Fairfield, they have Henry Park, Nanyang, as well as Newtown. So possibly it could attract parents who have already kids that gone in, or they are probably in like secondary or tertiary that want to move into this area because it's very convenient. Or they could be alumni. So alumni do not necessarily need that 1 km rule, for example. When you stay near Nanyang, for example, there's no mall, there's no amenities. But hey, if you stay 1 station away, you have Holland Village, you have all your amenities all around. So it really depends on what kind of lifestyle you actually want. So yes, there aren't any top schools or any schools even within 1 km itself, but I don't think that's a huge bugbear to most people who actually want to stay in the Holland area itself, because as you can see, a lot of the top schools are actually within vicinity. For example, you have your Henry Park nearby, which is just a short drive away. You have Nanyang Primary, which is 1 station away, and then you have RGPS as well as Nanyang Girls, which is just along the Bukit Timah belt. So for families who actually are in this area, I believe those who want to move towards One Holland V, they're either, dings without kids, or either that those that have kids that are already past the primary 1 age and they really want somewhere where it gives them lifestyle as well as amenities and convenience.
So continue watching on, where we share with you the exit strategy for buyers of Skye at Holland, and you can decide for yourself whether this development is safe to enter into. So as you know, Skye at Holland is going to have very, very good views. However, there's also units which are internal facing, and that's going to have the pool view. From what we heard, and of course this is not the official pricing yet, we filmed this a little bit in advance before the launch preview of Skye at Holland, but from what we heard, those with the internal pool view facing may start from 2,800 PSF onwards.
That's actually pretty amazing, because for that strategy would be to go on the lower floors so you actually get a pool view. Otherwise, on higher floors, it's really like facing towards your neighbors internally.
Yes, correct. So the strategy for those who are buying the internal facing unit is really to focus on getting as low a floor as possible, and don't fall into the trap of getting a high floor because you're going to be blocked by your opposite neighbor. Those with the GCB view and the unblocked landed view, from what we understand, it may start from the 3,200 to 3,300 range for those which are external facing, and those will be for your bigger unit types. Those 2-bedroom units are all going to be facing internal or facing the pool. At a potential launch price of 3,200, 3,300 for those which are external facing, it may sound like it's very expensive. But before we determine whether that is expensive, let's take a look at the resale in the area or even the sub-sale. Are there any other better options?
So just to give you guys an idea, recently the Promenade Peak that was launched, 3 bedrooms are already starting from about 3.2 and up for a very high floor. So in fact, 3-bedder starting from 3 billion these days, actually we are starting to see more of it coming up. So let's take a look at the nearby One Holland Village that has just TOP. We are seeing that the 3 bedrooms are starting from about 3,004 PSF, asking about 3.75 mil for a 1,098 square feet 3-bedroom, and this is pre-harmonized. And the 3-bedroom premium, the 1,076 square feet, which is post-harmonized, is likely to start from...
Scan the QR code to find out more, and we can discuss your buying strategy for Skye at Holland and whether do you have any other better resale or sub-sale opportunities in the District 10 and Holland Village area.
Yeah, we've actually seen some D10 projects actually make a lot more than the new projects. So if you want to find out where these undervalued projects are, do scan the QR code, and we're happy to share our analysis with you guys.
Moving on to the layout analysis of Skye at Holland, it's going to be a very straightforward one because we know UOL, they are known for having good layouts, and we don't really have anything to nitpick in the layouts that they have designed. So this is the 2-bed 1-bath layout, 581 square feet. There's a total of 2 stacks, B1 and B2. Total number of units, 74. When you walk in here, it's an open kitchen concept. Then you have a dumbbell layout, bedrooms on both ends, and then this is actually a very, very efficient layout. One thing to note is that even for a 2-bed 1-bath layout, it's pool facing.
And honestly, with this 2-bed 1-bath, I don't even foresee myself cooking because there's one Holland Village just right downstairs. There's hawker as well. The hawker center is just right beside.
Yes. Gimo Market is also just a short walk away.
And based on the floor plans that we're given, this looks like one of the more popular kind of layouts that the developer is actually doing, which is dumbbell layout. So this has been proven to be quite popular in also Pinetree Hill. Essentially, once you enter, you get a tuck-in kitchen at the side. And then as you walk through, you have a good size dining space over here and 2 bedrooms at the side and 2 baths. So I think this really suits investors and a lot of those who actually want to have own stay over here. So this layout is definitely pretty attractive. And furthermore, because you have a hawker center downstairs, there isn't so much need to cook. So I think this appeals to those who have very busy schedules and all.
So another thing to note is that both bedrooms have ensuite toilets, and this bathroom here is a Jack and Jill.
Oh yeah, I just noticed that actually you can access it through your living room and the bedroom as well.
Yes. And there will be a total of 4 stacks of 2-bed 2-bath units ranging from either 667 square feet or 678 square feet, and a total of 148 units. Now it's a 2-bed plus study, and this layout, the only other development that we've ever seen it in was just sometime last year, and it was our first time ever seeing it. And when we saw it, and if you've watched our previous video, we were actually very, very wowed by this layout.
Yeah, so this is actually the 2-bed plus study. And what happens is same thing as you enter, the kitchen is tucked in at one side. And then you have 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. And what I really like is really that the study is kept here. And it's in fact so cute that it's accessible even from the balcony itself. You can actually hack this to make a larger master bedroom, then you can put your bed here and then the study here. Or you can just enclose it as it is. So it becomes really like a study space, and the cute part is that you can access it even from the balcony area as well.
So this is very, very good and suitable for those who are very used to having a large master bedroom space. Those who live in like older condos or older developments in the Holland area, typically the bedrooms are bigger. And because this is a new launch, we all know that for new launches, the bedrooms are typically smaller. But with the addition of the study in the master bedroom, you have that option to hack away that partition and to make your master bedroom bigger.
Yep, so I really like this layout, and I think that this will attract a lot of own stay because of the way it's being laid out and it's dumbbell style. I think most buyers these days actually like a dumbbell layout because it's just slightly more efficient. You don't waste so much space on the walkway itself.
So moving on to the 3-bedroom, there are a total of 2 stacks, 915 square feet, total number of units 74. This is the smallest unit type in Skye at Holland, and this layout is very, very familiar. Denise, do you see this layout before?
I think the last time I saw it was another UOL project, Amo Residence, which is actually at Ang Mo as well.
Yes, that was launched about 3 years ago, and that was a sold-out project. And back then, because it was in the pre-harmonized scheme, a layout which looks like this was about 958 square feet.
And that's including the aircon ledge, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and this one doesn't because it's harmonized.
So you have 2 stacks here, 915 square feet, total number of units 74. So when you walk in here, it's very good because you are able to leave your door open and allow for ventilation through the unit without sacrificing your privacy. So you come in, you have kitchen with windows, and it's a tucked-in kitchen as well and closable. You also have the option to turn it into an open kitchen. And when you see here, this is likely going to be a glass panel that you're able to see through.
Oh, that's interesting. So you can actually have more light that comes into the
have natural light
kitchen
that
as
come
well.
in. And then you have your bedrooms all tucked on one side. One great thing about this layout is that in one of the bedrooms, it acts as like a junior master because you have your bathroom here, which is a Jack and Jill style.
Dual access, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you have your master bedroom as well as your ensuite toilet here. All your bedrooms will come with very nice unblocked view.
I think the market these days, there are many buyers deciding between a 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom. You know, they're worried maybe if I stay a 2-bedder, I might run out of space and I might want to upgrade to a 3-bedroom. So why not secure a 3-bedroom like right now if I can? The last round in our River Green as well as Promenade Peak video, we actually received quite a few responses regarding our price matrix. So we decided to do the same also for Skye at Holland to help you guys understand what kind of pricing and the gap that you actually have to jump through to get to a bigger unit.
Correct. So for a 2-bed 2-bath to a 3-bed 2-bath, the difference is that you'll be getting an additional bedroom. And that's one of the main considerations for many of the buyers because they want to be able to buy a unit that they can future-proof their stay. Because nowadays, with our seller stamp duty holding period of 4 years, You want to be able to make sure that whatever is your purchase for your property, it's able to last you through at least 4 to 6 years of you holding that property. So to be able to do that calculations is very, very important. So let's take a look. So what we've done is that we've mapped out the estimated PSF that Skye at Holland is going to be launched at for the 2-bed 2-bath as well as the 3-bed 2-bath. And from there you can see that you could likely and potentially be paying about 694,000 all the way to maybe about 853,000 for an additional bedroom. Is that going to be worth it? And do you want to be the one that pays an additional 694,000, or do you want to be the one that pays an additional 853,000 in terms of your entry price for an additional bedroom? Having a very, very clear buying strategy when you are buying a unit from a developer or even a unit in the resale market is very, very important. So please scan the QR code to contact Denise or myself to hop on a call so that we can share more with you what our buying strategy is for you based on the unit type that you want, as well as the gap that you'll be having between you and a neighbor who bought a bigger unit type.
On the other hand, if we look closely, if at your queue number, you are only looking at units that are like 2.3 to 2.4, can actually top up to a 3-bed 2-bath just maybe by 200 or 300K. So actually when we do this price matrix, it's also about price gaps within the project itself. So today we're just sharing based on the 2-bed as well as the 3-bedder. But if you'd like to know more about the bigger units, a 3 or 4-bed, do scan the QR code. We're happy to send you our price matrix.
So the 3-bedroom premium is beautiful as usual. We know developers very, very good at planning layouts. This is going to be 2 stacks of 1076 square feet, total of 74 units. You come in here, same with the previous 3-bedroom layout, you have a bit of privacy. You can leave your main door open to have ventilation without sacrificing your privacy. You come in, you have a dry kitchen, and then you have an enclosable kitchen here. And then you have your wet kitchen, then you have your yard, which comes with windows. And here you have your household shelter, as well as WC. You have your dining here, which can fit comfortably a 6-seater table, living room, balcony, and all your bedrooms are tucked in on one side. Compared to the previous layout just now, you have your 2 bedrooms here on one side and then one bedroom in the front. Then here you have all your bedrooms as well as your living, all on the same side, which means that they all get to enjoy the same unblocked view of the Holland area.
Yeah, because in fact, one Holland V comes up to about 4 or 5 floors. So the units, because they're already starting on 4th floor itself, so likely is that they'll be unblocked anyway, even from like 5th or 6th floor. So you actually enjoy very good views both ways. And this stack is actually facing towards the shorter side of one Holland V. So the 4-bedders and 5-bedrooms will all have private lift. So as you enter from your private lift lobby, you actually get a very good sized living as well as dining space and a very nice wet kitchen that has a bomb shelter as well. So what I really like is that all 3 rooms here will actually face towards internal view, and then you have 1 bedroom that faces the other side. But overall, I feel that this layout is pretty good, and what I really like is the huge master bedroom. So whatever that you have seen in the 2 bedrooms, they're also giving the same in the master bedroom for the 4 bedroom. So you get a very luxurious master bedroom itself.
This layout, however, will be suitable for smaller families because it's a 4-bed 2-bath. You only have 1 common toilet here, which will be shared between the 3 common bedrooms. So if you do have a bigger family, you may want to consider the other unit type.
Now we move into the next 4-bedroom layout, which is likely to be very, very popular because people in the Holland area, the D10, they like big layouts. So as you enter from the private lift lobby, you actually have 3 good-sized bedrooms. See, all the rooms are also very huge. In fact, the master has a walk-in wardrobe as well. Even your junior master is very good size. And then you actually have a kitchen that is U-shaped. This is very similar to the 4-bedroom that I've seen at Promenade Peak, where you actually have a dry kitchen, and then you have a yard area with WC and even a household shelter. This layout is probably going to be quite amazing. Going to be probably snapped up like what we saw in Promenade Peak, even in Upper House as well.
So this is very good for those who are having intergenerational families living together, because you do have the junior master as well as a master bedroom. And on top of that, you still have 1 more common toilet which can be shared between the 2 other common rooms.
And I believe this stack will also have price loaded onto it. Why? Because it's facing the good class bungalows view. So it's likely that based on what we've seen with UOL, they'll probably stack some of the pricing, especially the higher floors that faces the unblocked view for this layout, since it's actually really premium. Next, we have the 5-bedroom, which is also facing good class bungalow view, likely to have pricing stacked onto it as well. So this is just a larger version of the 4-bedroom just now. As you enter, landscape living and dining room, same, a U-shaped kitchen with a good size household shelter and yard at the back. And then all the rooms are a lot larger in terms of size. You have these 2 bedrooms which are linked, the Jack and Jill, and then you have your master which has a huge walk-in wardrobe. And then you actually have a junior master and 1 more bedroom. So overall, 5 very good sized rooms. It's just slightly bigger than the 4-bedder. So I think this is also going to be really popular amongst people who stay in the D10 area as well.
Those who are looking to right size from their current GCB or their current landed, and they prefer something which is a single floor plate, this is a very, very good single floor plate unit to allow for comfortable living.
Either that, parents who stay in the GCB, they want their kids to stay nearby. Their kids will probably be staying in this project itself, which is so convenient, and you can head down, just your coffee and all that right downstairs. So we actually have a 6T framework that we came up with regarding exit strategy for different projects. So Jubs, what do you think is the exit strategy for this project itself for 1.1V?
So these are our 6T. 1, transitioners. Transitioners would be those who are like HDB upgraders or people who are buying their first time homes, people who are buying to stay near family. That means in that area, you must have a lot of existing housing where people grow up at. Transformation triggers would be that, are there any transformations that are upcoming? Take, for example, a new MRT station or a new rail corridor or a new business park that's coming. Ticket size would be the quantum of the unit that you're actually purchasing. Is it going to be at a quantum that people can afford? Or even the PSF. Are you entering at a PSF that's much higher than the market accepted norm? Or are you entering at a PSF which is lower than the overall behavior of the market? This would be the top school effect. And as you know, many Singaporean families will move towards 1 km of top schools in Singapore, and this is one of the main drivers of many profitable properties today.
So these top schools not only include primary, but also secondary as well as JC. I mean, you can't be just moving to the primary school. You must also ensure that they are near a good secondary school in JC so that it cuts the travelling time as well.
And then in terms of transportation links, is it near to an expressway, or are you very, very close to any MRT station, which is very, very well connected? And lastly, transaction momentum. More transactions within a development and within the area itself helps to boost up the overall valuation of that property in that development.
So we know that Skye at Holland already meets this, which is right next to MRT. What else can you ask for? For the rest of the items, ticket size, top school effect, we're happy to share with you over a Zoom call. Scan the QR code to book a time with us, and we're happy to share more with you over Zoom.
So UOL has another project nearby, which is called Pinetree Hill. Let's see if there's going to be any similarities between Pinetree Hill and Skye at Holland.
So Pinetree Hill, they are also very near to each other, probably about 5 minutes apart from each other by driving. As of today, it's already 88% sold. Okay, it launched in 2023. So let's see whether there's any similarities in terms of the pricing strategy of the developer. One thing about Pinetree Hill is that it's not near any MRT, but it's 1 km to Henry Park. So whereas Skye at Holland, it is next to MRT, but no schools. So, give and take lah. They have pros and cons basically. So let's see what's the price kind of strategy that developer may implement for Skye at Holland. So this is the oldest price chart that I can actually find based on 20th July 2023. And as you can see, the take-up rate on the day one was actually pretty okay. They didn't release all the stacks itself as well. Now let's zoom in into how they actually price different unit types. So for the 2-bedders, we noticed that the per floor jump is actually quite standard, roughly about 8K, and then 3-bedroom premium maybe 11 to 12K. So because Skye is also not integrated or whatsoever, it's likely to be also similar. And then 5-bedroom is around 20K per floor. But what we notice is that between the 7 to 8 floor, there's always a jump, a double jump, I would say. They actually stack on that jump itself, whereby the jump could be maybe about 16K. So I think that maybe Skye at Holland might have the same thing. And we noticed something interesting that I think most developers are now also noticing, is that they are placing a higher price point on the 5-bedroom itself. So for example, stack 21, 22, 23, they are all facing towards the forest, the Clementi Forest side. So this Clementi Forest, wow, this is actually like 50 meters even to the boundary line and then towards the Clementi Forest. So it's going to be really like unblocked view for the north facing. So let's see how they actually priced it if we look at these three stacks, we notice between stack 21, 22, 23, even for the 5-bedroom, the PSF is actually higher than the 2 bedrooms and the 2 stacks next to it. So it's likely that, you all may also do the same thing for Skye at Holland, whereby the bigger units actually have a higher PSF because of the view, and they know demand is very high in this area. Right, Jubs?
Yes. One thing to watch out for and to be prepared for is that if you're going to be looking at buying a bigger unit type, do be prepared that for the bigger unit type, it's likely going to be a higher PSF as compared to the smaller unit type. And that's something that is quite consistent with how the developer has been pricing their units in the developments that they have launched in recent years.
So what we notice is there's another loading which happens on the 14th to 15th floor. So although Pinetree Hill, is quite similar to Skye in a sense that there's going to be unblocked view in front. Pinetree will face Clementi Forest, whereas Skye will face the unblocked, the good class bungalows and all that. So we notice another loading between the 14th and 15th floor, but it's not like unreasonable, like a huge jump and all that. They actually have pretty reasonable price jumps per floor, like about 8 to 11K thereabouts. And then for certain floors, they jump a bit higher.
So this is why it's very important to have someone with you on launch day and even at post-launch to really analyze the per floor jump, not just from level 2 to level 30, because based on the different levels, there may be an increased price loading on maybe say 10 or 11 floor or 14 and 15 floor. And if you are looking at keeping your entry price as low as possible and to have a wider gap between you and someone that's entering at a higher floor, it's very important to have someone to be able to share with you this kind of real-time information when you're buying something from the developer on launch day or even post-launch. Many of my clients are very, very perplexed based on the recent new launches. How come developers are placing a higher premium on the bigger units? Why do you think so, Denise?
Previously, the strategy is that bigger units will be lower PSF.
Yes.
But what we notice these days is that bigger units actually have higher quantum and PSF. So if we see, for example, the recent launches like Upper House, the 3 bedrooms were fully sold. Now the 4 bedrooms left are starting from 7 million. Even Opus as well, if you notice, mostly the 3 and 4 bedrooms are the most popular and almost sold out. And in fact, largely a lot of the buyers at Opus itself, 83% are Singaporeans, 16% are PRs, and the rest are actually foreigners. So number of foreigners that are buying this area have actually dwindled to maybe 1%, 2% thereabouts, and largely are Singaporean locals that are planning to buy in this area. So we foresee also for Skye at Holland, it will be the same thing. The take-up rate for the bigger units will be very high, just like Promenade Peak, just at like Upper House as well as Opus. Same thing for Promenade Peak itself, 90% of the buyers were actually locals. In fact, PRs made about 9%, and PRs have to pay ABSD. And then also, 2 and 3 bedroom actually accounted for 82% of the sales. So it's clear that a lot of the buyers these days are looking for own stay, and they're willing to pay higher, even for a bigger floor plate.
There's so many launches that are coming up in the end of 2025 and early 2026, and Skye at Holland is just one of them. What are the other launches that are coming up, Denise?
Okay, so Skye is actually launching right after the Ghost Month, 27 September. Penrith and Faber residents will actually be launching the next week after, which is on 3rd October. And then Zyon will be somewhere in October as well.
Before you even get too confused, let's share with you a little bit of information about the 4 upcoming developments.
So as you know, Skye at Holland is the very first one that's launching. As we have covered earlier, it's next to MRT, it's at One Holland Village. Next, you have Faber Residence, which is 1 km to Nan Hua itself. Also very good size, it's 2 to 5 bedrooms. And then also we have Penrith, which is next to Queenstown MRT, also 2 to 4 bedrooms. And then lastly, we have Grand Zyon. Grand Zyon is the only project that has 1 bedrooms. It will start from 1 bedroom onwards, whereas the rest of the projects do not actually have 1 bedders.
So you can see there's a general shift in the way that the developers are planning the units, and it's more geared towards having more usable space and more livable space within the unit itself. And there's a general shift that instead of providing a 1+ study, they go with a minimum of a 2-bed, 1 bath, which you can see with these 3 out of 4 developments here. And even for Grand Zyon, the 1+ study bedroom, it's about 468 square feet, which will then lead to a very, very interesting quantum that you could be looking to enter.
So if you're confused and unsure about which launch to actually buy for the last quarter of 2025, do scan the QR code and we're happy to jump on a Zoom call. As you know, this is just the part 1 of our analysis, and we're happy to share more with you guys in depth over a Zoom chat. So these are all the new launches. Are there still any viable resale opportunities actually in the market, Jubs?
What's very important is that besides looking at all the upcoming launches in the market, it's important also to keep yourself abreast of what are the available options in the sub-sale market as well as the resale market, because there could potentially be a very, very big gap in terms of the PSF that you're entering in versus what is the resale or sub-sale PSF. And if the gap is too big, then which one do you think is a safer entry? However, there could be some new launch developments where the PSF could potentially be on par with something which is in the resale market, which is 10 years old, 12 years old. Which one do you think will be a safer purchase? So hop on a Zoom call with us, scan the QR code, know your resale, sub-sale and new launch options before you make any decision, because whatever decision that you make today, your minimum holding period has to be 4 years.
So we're happy to go through this analysis and also look at your exit strategy once we hop on that Zoom call. So scan the QR code and let's talk soon.
Bye!
Bye!